All over the state, temperatures are hitting triple digits. Here's my advice to anybody in Pennsylvania that wants to cool down. Come to the state capitol this afternoon, because one thing we've got is shade. Lots and lots of shade, as evidenced by the fact of House Bill 1263, maybe one of the shadiest pieces of legislation we've ever seen. The audacity of putting a targeted drilling ban into this bill is almost unfathomable. And for someone like me, who represents an area, maybe one of the most drilled out districts in Pennsylvania, I'm personally offended. We were here 4 months ago under the guise of we had to do Act 13. We had to have uniformity. We had to have consistency. It needed to be fair. And now, 4 months later, we're saying, you know what? Maybe, for whatever reason, we're going to give a few people a pass. Maybe it had to do with when the bill was passed, no one knew that they had gas underneath their property. And now they do. This is more about chickens coming home to roost than anything else. This bill is dangerous. First of all, this drilling ban, as I was saying before, is dangerous. And here's why. We're going to be bringing up another piece of legislation tonight, a very important piece of legislation to provide tax credits, hopefully to bring an ethylene cracker into Pennsylvania, to create jobs, family-sustaining jobs that we desperately need. This ban puts some of the benefit of that cracker in jeopardy. Here's why. If we ban oil and gas operations in 2 counties, and part of the idea of the cracker is that it could potentially take propane and other gas byproducts across from western Pennsylvania to refineries in the southeast, how are you going to get it there if you can't put a pipeline in the ground? How are we going to make those refineries create jobs? Because we're opening up Pandora's box here. Today it's Bucks and Montgomery County. Which counties are next? I don't know. But if you think this is the last we're going to deal with this issue, I've got a bridge I want to sell you. Because there is no way that this is going to be settled quietly as we walk out the door. What this is going to do is ignite political powder kegs in 65 other counties in Pennsylvania. You may not have drilling in your area yet. You may not be in one of the areas that has the ban. But what you are going to have are the pro-drilling and anti-drilling factions of Pennsylvanians coming to your doorstep and saying, hey, they got one, why can't I have one? Or hey, we want the jobs, we don't want to have one. So 4 months after we took this giant step in the name of uniformity and consistency and put the puzzle together, we're going to break it apart into a million pieces. It makes absolutely no sense. I want to clarify something that the gentleman from Butler County said, talking about the difference between the East and the West. And they said we've been drilling in the West since the 1800s. To clarify, we haven't had Marcellus shale wells until 2005. Where was our study? Everybody knows that this process got a lot better as technology improved, best practices developed. Anybody associated with drilling will tell you it's happening better now than it was when it first started. Where was our study? Where was our 6 years? Where was Washington's, Allegheny's, all these counties where this has taken place? What makes Bucks and Montgomery so special? The answer is absolutely nothing. This is a bad, bad provision. And if you think that there should be a drilling moratorium in Pennsylvania, that's your right. But this is one of the biggest issues we're going to deal with in a decade, in a generation. You don't jam this into an amendment in the Appropriations Committee in the Fiscal Code bill. You do it under the light of day. You have a real debate. You have hearings. You let the public be informed. You don't engage in skullduggery and trickery and all these little political scams that you think you can slip one past and no one will know. Well, guess what? People are paying attention. People are going to know. This is why people don't trust this institution.